Josh Vecchio here, mortgage broker with Hunter Galloway, the home for home buyers across Australia. Recently I've been reading a book titled The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It's a ripper of a book and I wanted to share my learning. So today I'm looking at the 4 ways you can improve your financial psychology step by step, so keep watching. 1. Frugality. It's the path to financial enlightenment. Look no further than the king of Omaha, the man himself, Warren Buffett, worth billions and yet still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. But we all know that Warren's a freak of nature, one of a kind, not someone we can really relate to. But Ronald Reid is a person who is. A man born in America in 1921, living until the ripe old age of 92 years old. An extraordinary fellow, financially never earning big money, having only worked as a gas station attendant, mechanic, and janitor. But in his lifetime, he was able to amass over $8 million. To many, this was a shock as he lived a very humble yet frugal life. His friends and family only found out after his passing, having both put donations into the local library of $1.2 million and a hospital of $4.8 million. If a man of modest means is able to achieve something so remarkable, then there's much hope for you and I. And if you stick around, we'll uncover his exact strategies he employed to create such wealth and how you can too. But the 3 things you can do to begin living frugally are, firstly, to eliminate monthly expenditures. Secondly, to buy used rather than brand new item. And thirdly, to choose low-cost experiences. So for example, that picnic over that 5-course degustation. 2. Ego is the enemy. In Housel's book, he stipulates that past a certain level of income, what you need is just what sits below your ego. Everyone needs the basics, but spending beyond a pretty low level of materialism is mostly a reflection of ego approaching income, a way to spend money to show people that you have or had money. You don't need big money to accumulate wealth. There's thousands of people like Ronald Reid who have proven just this. It's what you save which is more important than how much you earn. And just think about that for a moment. Your expenditure is well and truly in your sphere of control. How much you earn isn't. Sure, you can do everything that your boss asks. You can even work after hours and on the weekend, but that pay rise isn't guaranteed. But on the other hand, your spendings is. Spending less than you did last month will mean that you'll have more left over than the month before. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Allowing your financials to be dictated by your ego will push yourself to the point of regret. Joseph Heller, a wildly successful author, summarizes this so eloquently, having attended a dinner party hosted by a billionaire hedge fund manager. An attendee made reference to Joseph, saying that the host billionaire made more in one day than he earned from his wildly successful novel, which sold millions. His reply was so short yet so profound, rebutting in saying, "Yes, but I have something he will never have. Enough." Housel adds to this rather well, noting that there's no fast way of feeling rich than to spend money on really nice things. But the way to be rich is to spend the money you have and not to spend the money you don't have. It's really that simple. Wealth is what you don't see. The trouble with our consumption-based economy is that we're all taught to have an insatiable appetite for more, overfed yet still undernourished. A paradox indeed. These are my 3 tips to avoid ego in your financials. Firstly, don't define yourself by what you own. Secondly, be willing to self-analyze your spending habits and correct course accordingly. And thirdly, embrace continual improvement and admit when you're wrong. 3. Compounding. Monetary survival is what allows for growth. So like planting a tree, pulling a sapling by its roots would mean its immediate demise. However, had it been left alone, albeit slow, it stood the chance to one day be a giant. And think of your money in the same way. Compounding only works if sufficient time is granted, and means that no gain is ever worth the risk of wiping yourself completely out. Jesse Livermore explains this very well in saying that sometimes I think no price is too high for a speculator to pay to learn that which will keep his head from getting a swelled head. The easiest way to implement this lesson is through the investment method known as dollar cost average. And let's take a look at how this works with a real life example. Meet Sue, Jim, and Tom. all investors looking to get wealthy, but using different strategies. Sue looks to dollar cost average, putting $1 in the market every day from 1900 to 2019. Jim does the same, but only when the economy isn't in a recession, and looks to sell if it is. Tom, well, he does a little bit differently. He looks to get into the market at the perfect time, waiting 6 months after and before a recession before he begins investing with the same strategy. Throughout this period, each investor has a drastically different result. Sue, at the end of this period, has $435,000 left over, whereas Jim, only $257,000, and Tom, $234,000. The moral of the story is that small amounts consistently invested over time and untouched turn into vastly bigger amounts. And this was the secret to Ronald Reig's success. And you can implement this strategy too. Here are a few really great applications that you can use. The first one is the Commbank Pocket app. Second one is Raiz. And the third one is Spaceship. All three allow regular small investments. For me, I personally set a regular investment which I set and forget, personally using the Commbank Pocket app, investing the same amount each month over the 5 options they have. It's not important the amount you invest, it's important that you do it consistently. Never touch your seeds once they're planted, leave and let them grow. 4, my final thoughts. For many, it's tempting to seek solace and advice from those who've made it, the top 1%, whether it's Gina Reinhardt, Bill Gates, or Ray Dalio. As the author advises in his book, that risk and luck are so hard to pin down. Countless fortunes and failures owe their outcome to leverage. The best and worst managers drive their employees as hard as they can. The line between inspiringly bold and foolishly reckless can be millimeter thick and only visible with hindsight. Be careful in assuming that 100% of the outcome can be attributed to effort and decision alone. It's by understanding that we can learn so much more from those who live humbly and under their means. It's because so too can we implement these timeless principles. And in doing so, offers so much more chance for us to eventually one day become financially free. And whilst we've not covered all the concepts in this superb book, it's enough for you to get a general feel for what it offers. And if you're looking to get ahead financially, I definitely recommend you picking yourself up a copy of this book. So now it's over to you. Are you looking to buy your first home? Did you know here at Hunter Galloway, we help people across Australia? So if you're looking to buy or refinance, you're in good hands. Simply reach out and call us on 1300 088 065 or visit us online, huntergalloway.com.au. And until next time, I'll see you then.